Alright, so what do you get when you mix the lore of Van Helsing, a hobo, a silver shooting pistol, and a horde of spooky monsters? You get this. Welcome to the weird and somewhat silly world of Spooky Survivors. This is the first devlog for my new upcoming game, Spooky Survivors. This is something I've been working on for a while, around a month now, and I'm super excited to finally share it with you. It's a fast-paced roguelike where you take on endless waves of supernatural nasties, making tough choices about your upgrades and trying to survive the endless hordes of the night. This game is all about chaos, strategy, and a little bit of humor. In this devlog, I'll walk you through what makes this game special, introduce you to Van Hobo, the scrappy and slightly unhinged monster hunter you'll be playing as, and give you a peek at the terrifying yet slightly goofy world of spooky in the monsters you'll face there. So grab your flashlight, maybe a garlic necklace, and let's jump right into it. For those of you that don't make it past this part of the devlog, if this sounds like your kind of game, don't forget to wishlist Spooky Survivors on Steam. Here's the twist in Spooky Survivors. You're not grinding to unlock abilities, because you already have them all. That's right, everything's unlocked from the start. But there's a catch. You get to decide what to upgrade as you go. Now I know, this isn't exactly the best hook in the world, but at least it's something a bit different when it comes to these survivor-like wave-based games. To be honest, without thinking too much of possible financial incentive, this is just something I wanted to make, and something really different from my usual games. So, this means that every run is completely up to you. Do you want to max out your ranged attacks and become a walking bullet storm? Or maybe stack lifesteal and tankiness so that you can survive the chaos head on? The freedom to experiment and create insane builds is what makes this game tick. As of now, there is a variety of skills and available abilities in the game, but I have plans for much more. The strategy in playing this lies in choosing the right upgrades at the right time. Do you pick something powerful early on, or hold out for that game-changing ability later in the run? It's all about adapting to the waves of enemies coming your way and finding combos that will keep you alive just a little bit longer. And trust me, there's nothing more satisfying than turning the tide of battle with a perfectly timed upgrade. Apart from this, the game will have a relatively robust stats screen between rounds, as well as some kind of shop or pickup system for the equipment and weapons. I'm still thinking and deliberating on this. Now, getting far in the game is fun, and beating your own record feels pretty rewarding, but why stop there? I've implemented an online leaderboard system so that you can check how well you did against other players. I believe this will give players a decent incentive to keep playing and getting further. At this point, I don't know how many players will be represented in the leaderboard, but probably something like 100, maybe up to 200 or 300. Originally, I wanted the game to max out at level 20 like in Brotato, but then I thought having the player play endlessly and getting to be number 1 on the leaderboard feels more aligned with what I'm trying to do. So, why does the game look so weird and kinda unique? Well, here's the thing. I'm not a 2D artist. In fact, professionally, I'm a 3D environmental artist. As such, this is all very new and different to me. But that's almost a good thing here, right? That's a part of the allure for me as a developer. It's something new, something fresh and exciting. I've been enjoying creating these characters and props a lot. So here's the process and how I do it. First, I grab a piece of white paper. Me being me, I chose the back of a medical bill, and now the source drawings are pretty much ruined. Classic. Anyway, I then draw the characters or props or weapons or whatever in pen and in quite a unique and detailed style. I'm no artist, so I just do what feels right and what feels good. I then take this art and scan it into the computer using a printer scanner or even a phone camera. Then I trace over the outside layer with a thick outline and the inside details with a thin outline. I then color in the interior parts of the art at the end and do a blurred effect on the color so as to create a gradient-like effect. I crush down all the layers and there you have it. Art. Well, kinda. Now let's talk about the star of the show, Van Hobo. Picture this, a scrappy monster hunting vagabond who's part John Wick and part dumpster diver. He's not your typical hero, but he gets the job done with whatever he can find, from makeshift weapons to a pistol he may or may not have borrowed. He's a bit rough around the edges, but hey, when the spooky monsters come knocking, you don't get picky. His design and character traits are of course based on the legend of Van Helsing. The world of Spooky Survivors is as chaotic as its hero. You're battling through eerie forests, foggy graveyards and crumbling towns, all overrun with supernatural baddies. As of now, I only have a graveyard made, but I'll add the rest soon, hopefully. Probably not. The enemies? Oh, they're not your average zombies and skeletons. You'll be facing a bizarre mix of ghosts, ghouls and cursed creatures, each with its own attack patterns and ways to ruin your day. As the waves progress, the enemies evolve, becoming faster, tougher and smarter. They'll swarm you, ambush you, and make you rethink that risky upgrade you just took. The world itself shifts with every run, keeping things fresh and unpredictable. Well, if I find time to implement advanced AI, that is. Otherwise, they'll be pretty generic. There will be different types of enemies though, from ranged to swarmers to jumpers to bursters, keeping the gameplay fresh and exciting. This is the plan anyway. Van Hobo may be outnumbered, but with your upgrades and a bit of luck, he might just make it through the night. So here's the deal with the development timeline. I want Spooky Survivors to be polished, fun, and in your hands as soon as possible. And realistically, that means cutting some content. My plan is to keep the development cycle tight by focusing on what makes the game shine. The fast-paced gameplay, the crazy upgrade system, and the quirky personality of the world and characters, and of course the attack behaviors of yourself, the player, and of enemies. I'm keeping the scope manageable by prioritizing the core experience instead of detail. This means fewer distractions and more time to refine the mechanics that makes the game and each run exciting and replayable. The randomized builds, the enemy waves, the satisfying chaos, it all needs to feel just right, and this takes a lot of tuning. What also helps is creating 2D art as opposed to 3D art. Now, 2D art still takes skill to achieve and to do well, but it is just a way shorter process. Of course, I'm also leaning into the feedback from early playtesters to make sure the game is balanced and rewarding. The goal isn't to make a game that takes years to develop, it's to create something that's fun, engaging, and ready for you to dive into sooner rather than later. Think of it as a Van Hobo style of development, scrappy, resourceful, and getting the job done with what I've got. And that's Spooky Survivors, a game about movement, chaos, and surviving against all odds. Just like our hero, Van Hobo. I'm excited to share more updates with you as development continues, but for now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of the all unlocked upgrade system, or Van Hobo's vibe? Drop the comments below and let me know what kind of builds or monsters you'd want to see in the game. Right now, I'm just having fun with it. If this sounds like your kind of game, don't forget to wishlist Spooky Survivors on Steam. It really helps indie devs like me to get noticed. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next day vlog. Until then, stay spooky.